And Fox News alert, police releasing new surveillance video showing the person of interest in the Brown University shooting.
So this comes as the FBI intensifies its search for the shooter, who's considered to be armed and dangerous.
Bryan Llenas joins us live from Providence, Rhode Island with the latest. Hey, Bryan.
Good morning. Well, Providence police say they have developed a new lead, releasing new surveillance video showing the clearest pictures yet of the primary person of interest that they are looking for. These videos appear to show the potential gunman walking near Brown University at 2 p.m. on Saturday. That is just 2 hours before the shooting. The man is seen wearing a dark beanie, a surgical mask over his face, and a dark two-tone jacket. He's just walking almost casually. At one point, he stops, turns around, puts his arms behind his back, and just looks around. This person of interest is described as a male, 5'8", with a stocky build. The FBI says this person should be considered armed and dangerous. The FBI is also now offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction in this case. Now, the Providence police say they don't know what this person was doing walking around hours before the shooting, and they don't know whether the gunman specifically targeted the classroom where 2 students were murdered and 9 others were wounded.
I'll tell you that what I can tell you is that this individual definitely targeted the Brown University, because clearly we're here speaking about that. And I can also tell you that obviously it's something that we're looking into as far as if there's anything else that he was targeting.
The FBI has sent more resources to assist in this investigation. Yesterday, for the first time, we saw 24 FBI evidence response team members conducting grid searches at and near the scene, searching through the snow, the bushes and shrubs. We saw them pick up several items: an empty alcohol glass bottle, what appeared to be a blue glove, anything that could perhaps have been tossed or touched by the shooter. What was surprising was that these searches were being conducted 48 hours after the shooting, right across the street of the engineering and physics building where the shooting took place, and in fact at one point on the very lawn of the shooting scene. The FBI was also seen in Tyvek suits going through the building's dumpster. The FBI's lab in Quantico is processing evidence, and agents are inside reconstructing the scene, documenting the trajectory of the bullets. Investigators say they don't have the gun, but they know that the gunman used a 9mm handgun. Also interesting, Brown University sent out an alert yesterday urging anyone that was inside the engineering and physics building behind me the day before and on the day of the shooting to contact them so they can interview them. Interesting note about that is obviously we are 72 hours now past the shooting, and also they canceled classes, canceled final exams and projects. Many of these students have returned home. Guys?
So Bryan, we got a media reaction here on the couch when you said that the police is still saying that it was a handgun. Now, one of the eyewitnesses that said he saw the shooter and they locked eyes said that it was a long gun. Now, obviously, with guns, there are attachments to make a 9mm appear to look like a long gun. But what are the police saying about that portion of the investigation?
They have not cleared up that discrepancy. We have asked over and over again, and so have the press at these press conferences, to be clear about the weapon that was used. Josh Arubo, who was the person, the PA, essentially conducting the final review exam inside, he told ABC News yesterday that he looked dead right in the eyes of the shooter, and he described it as a long gun. So that is a discrepancy, but they were very sure here about the bullets that came out of this gun. It was a 9mm handgun that was used in this shooting.
Bryan, the police are saying the suspect could be armed and dangerous, as you were reporting, but they say they insist there's no credible threat to the public. How can you have both?
Yeah, and that is something that is also a point of frustration here in Providence, because the question was posed to them, well, the shooter wasn't known to be a threat before this, and yet we have 2 dead Brown University students. So how can they be so sure if they don't know the location of this particular the suspect in this case? They don't know whether or not this person is still in the community. But the mayor, Brett Smiley, says that they have increased the police presence and they are confident in their position, and they don't know of any specific threats. So they're encouraging people to not be as anxious. But well, obviously it's tough for people to square that in their minds, given that they have no idea where this individual is.
So, Brian, do they know where he left and the path he might have taken? And I've never been on that campus. Do you think the FBI might have seen something in footage that we haven't seen as why they were going through those shrubs like they were with so many people? It didn't seem like a random place to just start digging around in the snow.
No, as a matter of fact, they were digging around in the snow right at the entrance of the building where the shooting took place. And they were digging all around this area. He walked east on Waterman. We are on Hope Street. So literally, he just made a right on that street and he kept walking. And the investigators say that over the last 12, 24, 36 hours, they have been getting more and more videos. Perhaps some people were off during the weekend. They're now searching through their videos. And that is why we have those new surveillance tapes. They hope that in the next 24 to 36 hours, they'll be able to not only ID this person, but figure out the exact trajectory of where this gunman went. But, you know, they were searching through the shrubs and the snow here. A big part of that was because they also spent the beginning critical few hours of this investigation looking for a person of interest that had nothing to do with this shooting. And so they have now had to shift their investigation towards this new lead, and that's why we're starting to see almost a retrace of some of the things that you would expect to have seen in the first couple of hours of an investigation.
All right, Brian, thanks so much. We'll check in with you again. We never know what we're going to get. We get more information from Brian than I get in an hour of that press conference yesterday. It was one of the worst-run press conferences I've ever seen in my life. Did you hear one of the questions? One of the questions was, excuse me, when are we going to get this video? Oh, I'm going to put it online. Put it online. You're in the middle of a press conference. You can't tell the press right there. If you are not ready, if you don't have somebody to work your online server as well, well, do it before you do a press conference. And the way they compliment each other for the first 15 minutes while a killer is on the loose, are you crazy? Who approaches things like that?
So let's tell you more about the victims that were killed. There were 2 people that were killed and 9 injured. Ella Cook, she was only 19 years old. She was a sophomore at Brown. She's from Mountain Brook, Alabama, and a member of the Cathedral Church of the Advent in Birmingham. She was vice president of Brown's College Republicans. Then there's also
Mohammed Aziz Umar Zakharov, an 18-year-old freshman, double major in biochemistry, neuroscience. Family immigrated from Uzbekistan to the U.S. When he was young, dreamed of becoming a brain surgeon.
So these are the victims. We got one of the victims' names yesterday. We were able to get this other young man's name because his family said it's okay to release it. Praying for them. But the motive is still one of the things that we're trying to figure out, because that's going to help you try to identify a potential shooter. What was the inspiration? Was it the professor there? Were these kids targeted specifically? And there's just a lot of questions and not a lot of answers from the law enforcement.
Yeah.
You know, I respect them, and I want to give them space to do their investigation, but it looks like amateur hour right now.
There's a $50,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Call that number right there, 401-272-3121, if you have any information.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.